Are you feeling trapped? Like your marriage is slipping away from you and there is nothing that you feel that you can do? Every year there are thousands of women who are going through this heartbreaking situation and are needing to beg and plead and use whatever tactics they can to try and get their husband back. Over the next 10 or so minutes, I'm going to explain to you how you can go from a place of fear and desperation to a place of unwavering inner strength and resilience to be able to get you through this really difficult situation. Now, the first step that you need to take here is to cultivate true inner strength and self-worth. Now, to me, that is the most important part of this journey. See, often what happens is when we're going through a difficult time in a marriage, we're looking externally for that validation. What I mean by that is, your world has been rocked. Your world has been changed so much because his behaviors or his actions has led you to feel that, the fundamentals of your life, in other words, your family, your house, your finances, all of that stuff has been completely rocked. But that's effectively implying that the external is the thing that makes us feel secure and stable on the inside, which is actually a misconception. It's actually the internal mechanisms that we have and our sense of identity that provides us with that security, and then the external becomes a reflection of that. And the reason I know this is because we think through times of how, you see billionaires and millionaires or people that seemingly have it all, and yet they are some of the most insecure people that you will ever meet. I've come across so many of them, whether it be in sports or whether it be in my business or in a past career or just friendships and so on. You see individuals who have it all, but they're not happy. They have no sense of security whatsoever because they're looking externally to find that security. Now look, just to be clear, I'm not suggesting that we don't try and work on those things. What I'm suggesting though is that in order to maximize your chances of saving your marriage, in order to allow yourself to move forward in the best possible way, you have to cultivate that internal security. And the way we derive that inner security is by developing that inner self-worth, knowing that you are enough just as you are, knowing that you are amazing just as you are, and not continuing too much the dialogue of, oh my God, I've done this, or I shouldn't have acted like this, or I shouldn't have acted like that, and so on. Because that's inevitably where the brain will want to take you when you're in a situation where your husband wants to leave or he's going through a separation or whatever. And that needs to be curbed, and I'm going to touch on that in the next point. We need to make sure that that is addressed and healed, because if you don't do that, what's going to happen is you're going to constantly look externally to try and get those situations resolved, rather than recognizing that the way we shift the external is by shifting the internal. That is where the transformation comes, my friends. When you recognize that you are enough just as you are, and you truly own that and believe that, then your actions are going to be following on from those foundations, and that is where we can experience some massive shifts. The second step is to practice radical acceptance, both for yourself and for your partner. Now, what radical acceptance is allowing yourself to truly get to a place of intense acceptance of what is. You see, in the situation that you're in right now, let's say your husband has said he wants to separate. You mentally are resisting what is. You don't want that to happen, and understandably so. Of course you don't want your marriage to end. Of course you don't want the separation to occur. But you're resisting what is actually happening. And just to be clear, when I say acceptance, I'm not saying, okay, this is a situation, my husband has left, and I just continue to want that to happen over and over. No, of course not. We don't want that to happen. We don't want it to get worse. But we have to accept what is. So we acknowledge and honor that this is what it is. But most importantly, we have to accept what is actually happening emotionally on the inside of us. So if you're feeling grief, if you're feeling anger, if you're feeling sadness, if you're feeling, hurt, whatever emotions you're feeling, you have to practice that acceptance of what is. And often in situations which are rather difficult in my life from time to time, that's what I will do. My first action that I will take is ask myself, how can I go about accepting what is? And in particular, accepting the emotions that I'm feeling right now. So I accept it, I allow myself to feel it on all levels, mentally, emotionally, physically. I allow myself to experience those feelings, and then I make a conscious decision. I say, I choose to let this go now. And when we get to a place of just genuine acceptance of those emotions, we release those, then we find clarity in our own minds. So we have to find acceptance of what is. Then we also have to find acceptance of where he is at. Look, rightly or wrongly, he has come to a place in his own mind that he doesn't want to be in this relationship at this point in time. That doesn't mean he doesn't want to change in the future, but at this point in time, he is at that place. We have to have compassion for that. You see, if you take the approach of, oh, I can't believe he's doing this to me, and I'm so pissed off at him, how dare he act like this, and so on, then you're only resisting his behaviors as well. He's going to pick up on that energetically, and then he's going to continue to want to go down that path and feel vindicated for his decisions. You want to have compassion and empathy for where he's at. That doesn't mean that you just say, hey, carry on. If, like, for example, if he's engaging in an affair, that doesn't mean you just say, yep, go ahead, do your thing. It's not about that at all. It's just acknowledging that human beings, I truly believe, at the deepest part of them, are doing the very best that they can with the resources that they have. Sometimes people make really poor decisions. Now, yes, there are some examples of individuals like narcissists and psychopaths and all that stuff. We put them to the side for a second. Generally speaking, human beings do the very best they possibly can with the resources that they have. So even him, there'll be some guilt. There'll be some frustration that he's going through. There'll be some hurt. There may be an accumulation of pain that he's had over a period of time. You have to have acceptance of that and also have a level of compassion. And when you have compassion, empathy, you find acceptance of what is. Then from that place, you can then start to have the conversations that you need to in order to be able to move forward and get the best outcome that you possibly can. The third step is to let go of control and surrender the outcome. So the truth is in life is we don't know what's going to happen tomorrow or the next day and so on. We can speculate, but we don't actually know 100%. Anything could happen. And that includes in your marriage. You don't know what the outcome is actually going to be. And I know that that is a difficult thing to often accept, but I actually think it's magical when you're in that place. Because I remember years ago watching Michael Jordan in a video, in an interview, and he just said that in terms of a game of basketball, he would go into it saying, nobody knows. Nobody knows what's going to happen. And people can speculate, people can guess, but nobody knows, which means that you've got a chance. There's an opportunity there. There's a chance there. And I firmly believe that the greatest results come in life when we truly let go, we surrender the outcome to God, the universe, whatever higher source you believe in. Truly get into that place of detachment. And detachment means that you want the outcome that you want, but you give up your attachment to it. And if worse comes to worse and it doesn't happen, you know that you're going to be okay. I would encourage you to take some time to imagine your life without him and imagine yourself being in a really beautiful place. Once again, that sounds counterproductive. You want this outcome. Why would you think about it not actually happening? Why would you think about the worst case scenario? Well, just to be clear, I believe that if you want a certain outcome, you have to make peace with not getting it. And if you make peace with not getting it, you don't have to worry about the worst case scenario anymore. And what I've found is when I do that, and when my clients do that, then they can put their energy into things working out. They end up renewing their faith. They have faith that things are going to work out for their highest good. And that's a magical place to be. So get to a place of surrender. Truly pray on it. Let it go. Meditate. Use different techniques like that to find that sense of inner peace. It'll allow you to restore that faith on the inside that the best thing is going to happen for the highest good of all concerned. And then finally, just some practical guidelines on the circumstances that you're in. I actually strongly recommend you actually take some time to maybe speak to a lawyer, speak to other professional individuals who can actually help you to understand what the worst case scenarios in the situation is. What happens from a financial point of view? What happens in terms of assets? What happens in terms of, other areas of your life, kids, etc.? I think it's very important to sometimes get clear on that, because what happens in these situations is that when someone is threatening a divorce, separation, etc., our brain, because we're in survival mode, immediately goes to the worst case scenario. Oh my God, he's going to take all the money. Oh my God, he's going to take the kids. Oh my God, the houses are going to go. What am I going to do? How am I going to make money, etc., etc. We want to try and alleviate that pain a little bit. And so I would strongly suggest that you go and contact a lawyer, you contact real estate agents, you contact, accountants and other financial advisors and so on, just so you understand what is the reality of the situation at the moment. It's very important to do that. Doesn't mean you put all your energy into, the separation and all that stuff. It just means that you're getting the facts, you deal with the facts, and then from there, okay, I'm protected, or I need to do this, or I need to make sure everything's okay for my family. Once I know that, I still want to make my marriage work. I still want to do everything I possibly can to try and address the situation and get him back. So I think it's really important to be practical as well. I'm not just about trying to shift your mindset and then just hope for the best. You've got to shift it. Yes, you've got to create the healing on the inside, but you also need to be pragmatic and practical about the actual circumstances that you're in right now. When you address all of that, I truly believe that gives you the greatest chances of success. If I listen to the stories of my clients who've been able to create radical shifts in their marriage, it all happened when they got to a place of acceptance. It all happened when they created massive shifts on the inside. And it all happened when they knew without a shadow of a doubt that if the worst case scenario happened, that they were going to be okay. Now, I know this journey can be extremely isolating and just so emotional on so many levels. Like, obviously I speak to clients every single day, and it breaks my heart, the things that they're having to go through. But it also fills me with so much inspiration, because I've seen people who have been in the darkest of holes come out of it and find the light, to find healing, to find transformation. And you're no different. Every single one of us has the capability of doing it. And that's why I've created my program, the Authentic Relationship System, a very, very powerful process that I take my clients through to create that healing, to create that transformation. So if you've been watching these videos, if you connect with what I'm talking about, you resonate with it, and you're needing some support on your journey, then I'd love to be of service to you. All you need to do is in the description section below, just click on that link which just says book a call with me. Just click on that link, choose a time that works for you, and then I'll contact you at that scheduled time, just so I can learn a little bit more about your circumstances, your situation, and what we can do to help you to get from where you are now to where you want to get to in the future. And I really, really appreciate you taking the time to watch this video, and I can't wait to be of service to you. Once again, just click on that link, choose a time that works for you, and then I'll contact you. Can't wait to speak to you. Thank you so much for watching this video. If you've liked it, make sure you hit that like button below. If you want to get more videos like this, hit that subscribe button. And do let me know what your biggest takeaway is, or if you have any questions or comments or anything like that, just write them below. I always love reading the comments. So just write them below and I'll make sure I respond to every single one of you. And if you want to learn whether no contact is the best strategy or not during a separation, just click this video above. Thank you so much. God bless, and I'll talk to you in the next video.